Hi guys, welcome to Ecuador Homestead. So today in this video we're going to be showing you how to cook taro root leaves. Keep watching.
Okay, so here we have some taro root. You can show you down here. I'm digging some up. You see the leaf here on top, and this is the fruit. These are small. You let them get bigger than this, but here you see the fruit at the bottom. They'll get much larger, and they'll have like 15 or 20 once they get really big of this fruit. Like I said, it's like a potato when you cook it. But I'm moving these. We're going to put them someplace different. But the leaves are an excellent source of all type of vitamins. It's like a spinach, a green spinach, a leafy green vegetable. And there's two different types of this. There's the domestic type, and then there's the wild type. This is the wild type that I have here, and I'm actually planting the domestic type over here. To me, you know, the fruit of the domestic type, which is in the bottom under the ground like the potato part, it's better in the domestic type that you buy at the store or at the market. However, for the wild type, the leaves are great. It's no different than the domestic type. So we're going to move these, plant these someplace where we just keep harvesting the leaves for it, and I'm going to use this place here to plant more of the domestic type. But we're going to show you here how to process the leaves. And like I said, we're going to move this to another location, but in the process we'll take some of these and some of these leaves and actually cook them up. We like to add onions to them, and it's an excellent flavor with this stuff and the onions cooked up. We'll put it on sandwiches and stuff like that. So keep watching. Around here, this is one of those things you can just walk around and find it, and actually a food that you literally like finding laying on the ground, and all you got to do is heat it to consume it. So, all right, well, that's that. Area where we're going to transplant this, and all we need is really this fruit from the bottom. But for making the leaves, like we're showing you, we're just going to cut the leaf off up here, and I'm just going to plant the rest of it. There is a recipe for the stems to make something out of the stems, but we just have been using the leafy part. So right now I'm just cutting off the tops. And by the way, right here where we're getting ready to transplant these, we got another one growing right over here. So we might just cut those leaves also. The ants like them too. So, but we're going to cut those leaves off and process those too. And we're going to make a bed here of this stuff. So whenever we want to come get our leafy fix for the day, we'll come up to our bed of leafy, they call it papachina root here, but it's leafy taro root. So we're just going to cut all these and put our leaves in here.
Okay, so now we're going to work on our recipe using the taro root. The smaller the leaf, the more tender the green is. So here's some leaves. So what we're going to do is just take off this kind of little stem area. We've already washed these, and take off the stem. We have to cut it off. Okay, then we're just going to roll them, and we're going to cut them in 1/2 inch pieces. So I'm just going to cut them like this, and then we need to boil them for 30 minutes before we stir fry them, because you want to get all of the toxins out of it. There's just, you shouldn't eat it raw. It has to be cooked.
It has cyanide in it.
It has cyanide in it. So you want to boil it, and then we're going to stir fry it. And I've already prepared the onion that we're going to put in the stir fry. And this here is the onion that we used. We cut it up into little dices. So we'll be back in a few minutes and after we have this boiled, and show you how we stir fry it. Put in however much butter you would like. You could use oil or you could use chicken fat, but we just got maybe about a teaspoon and a half in here of butter, and we're going to melt that. Okay, and we're going to add our onion first, our diced onion. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and saute our onion. Now at this point you could saute this a little bit. You could add some garlic or any other seasonings that you would like in here. This is just kind of how you would, what seasonings you like. So I'm going to let this cook for a little bit, and it's kind of brown, and then I'm going to add the taro leaves. Okay, this onion now is kind of at the point where I like it. It's a little brown, starting to brown up. So I'm going to go ahead and add the taro leaves at this point. Now, you don't have to saute these. You can always, just add them directly to soups and stews. So now I'm just trying to mix it all up, all in together. And at this point you can add some other spices. I'm going to add like a little bit of salt. Maybe that's like a teaspoon, or you can add more or less salt depending on your like. Now we like to eat this plain like this as a side dish, or we've also put this on top of like an egg sandwich, and that tastes really good. So just kind of be creative with how you would enjoy eating this.
So I hope you enjoyed that video of us cooking taro root and everything. One thing I want to address real quick is that at the end, after we finish boiling the stuff, let's say you had another recipe you wanted to add the taro root into, feel free to do it that way. You don't have to cook it this way. Of course, there's tons of other ways you can cook it, but after you boil it for 30 minutes, then you can add it into any other soup. If you want to saute it, you can. Any other dish you kind of want to add it to, you don't have to do it how we did it, of course. So if you have another way you want to do it, you can do it that way. It doesn't look very beautiful, but of course, it's very good for you. And my dad was saying, my dad doesn't really like spinach too much and stuff. It does have somewhat a taste of spinach, a little bit, but my dad says that's better than spinach, and it's got a lot of nutritional things in there that's good for you. And the best thing we like about it down here is it's a survival food. It grows all year round. Like we said, we found, let me see if I can see one. No, I can't see one in this area because I keep it very well maintained, but they just grow wild here. And yeah, just completely wild. I see this thing right here, but this isn't taro root. That's not taro root. That's some other tropical plant that we have here. Anyways, so if you have another recipe, you add it to that, of course, and go that route. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a like. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Also, one other thing, make sure you check us out on Patreon if you haven't. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can you know, to my Patreon page. Okay, see you next time in Equinor Homestead.